Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes podcast. I'm Alicia Haygood. As Scottsdale's social season is in full effect, let's get prepared because it is none other than the Waste Management Phoenix Open Preparation Week. I'm so lucky that I had the opportunity to get Scottsdale Fire and Police in the studio with us today to talk about how we can get ready for safety concerns and just be prepared for a week full of fun. But of course, let's start with our favorite real estate agent, Sean Shackleton of the Shackleton Group. Buying and selling a home can be frustrating and stressful, but Sean Shackleton with the Shackleton Group is here to change that. With 26 years of expertise and true understanding of today's market, Sean works tirelessly to get you the home you deserve. She really has her finger on the pulse of the different Scottsdale neighborhoods and knows the community well. So don't settle or get stuck in confusion. Reach out to Sean at 480-734-7277 or visit theshackletongroup.com and make your next move a winning one. I wore my green special for this. Luckily, that is my favorite color. So I have plenty of WM Phoenix Open Green ready to go. It is one of the most iconic events here in Scottsdale, drawing massive crowds that can literally double Scottsdale's population for that one day on more or less all week. So it's a really incredible event. Massive crowds is an understatement. It runs weekly, smoothly, and successfully because of all of the work behind the scenes. So today I'm joined by Bolin from Scottsdale Police and Dave Folio from Scottsdale Fire. Together, along with many thousands and hundreds of other people, they help lead the planning, coordination, and public safety efforts that really support the largest, best attended PGA Tour event in the world. So from emergency response and traffic management to behind the scenes logistics, they're part of the team that helps them make us have a great week. Let's start with you, Dave. Welcome back. We love having you on. I'm excited to have you, Aaron, join us this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about, from a public safety standpoint, what this does to the city.
Doubles our population, first of all. Yeah. So right off the bat, the People's Open's back, right?
Yeah.
Last year was amazing. The weather was amazing.
The changes were amazing from a spectator's perspective, and I'm excited to dive into what that meant for you guys later, too.
And to that point, Chance, the executive director of the Thunderbirds, could not wait to send both of us through the fire department and the police department that they won the event of the year for the PGA. So that was huge for them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they won that award this year. So for us to be
pat
sitting,
on the back, that's huge.
Oh, it's huge. For us to be sitting 2 years ago in an after action talking about the crazy weather we had, no excuses, made it better, not bigger, and then to end up winning that for those guys this year was amazing. And it's about all the stakeholders. It's not just about one group that goes out there, but literally it was about 2 meetings every week. And this year we went to 1 meeting every month, and we're ready for it. It doubles our population. Like I said, I've always told people this is the biggest sporting event in the world.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, because the Indianapolis 500 is the next one, and they get close to 365.
Okay.
And we break. I hate to say it, but we don't like to talk about numbers. But on a Friday and Saturday when the weather's great, you're talking about loading a lot of people into 220 acres, and that's what people don't realize. Every year we talk about it being a city within a city. And literally, when I drove out there before in the middle of September, moving into October, because I think first stake in the ground's October 1st, and it just reminds you, like, wow, this is literally nothing out here. It's a 220 acres of golf course, and then to drive to it yesterday to see the new 16 that's up right now is so crazy how quick they're moving with it. One of the guys said they're ahead of schedule.
That's great.
Building
that
it.
never happens in construction.
It's crazy. Yeah. They've
rare.
had great
It's
weather
very
leading up to it too, but from a public safety standpoint, we're ready for it. This is our signature events. It starts up the kickoffs, Barrett Jackson coming up that we're focused on. And then we take a week to move all the equipment over to the Open and get ready for that.
Let's talk about it, Aaron, from police perspective. You guys cover a lot of territory here in Scottsdale. We still have to protect the city. Same with fire, and serve. How do you work? Because once the Western weekends and with the concert in the Coliseum starts on the 31st, it's all hands on deck,
Sure.
So how do you all deal with that logistically wise?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, and it really is a great partnership, both with our local agencies, other law enforcement agencies, and the Scottsdale Fire, and because we all need each other, especially for an event like this. So we always maintain road patrol coverage for the community at large in Scottsdale as normal. That's always happening. We're a 24-hour, 365 police department. So we actually do have folks who are not working those patrol shifts, so their normal shift. They're on their off days that will then come in and work basically at the event, whether they're directing traffic maybe outside of it or they're working security inside of it. We also take all our specialty assignments, so our bicycle patrol, our motorcycle patrol, our horse patrol, anyone else that's not currently doing an assignment, and then they are in security positions. And I'll be honest, working this event, I've worked it on a bicycle before in years past. It is by far the best way to work it because you can get you can get everywhere around. But the hardest workers are definitely our motor unit, the motorcycle unit, and all the traffic control and managing out on the outside. Because to get people in, you have to have that good traffic ingress and egress on the outside. And one of the bigger changes that was made from years past to last year was the footprint change and how they changed some things to. There's basically no general admission parking on site, and that's the way it's looking for 2026 unless anything changes between now and when we kick off. But you have to have parking passes and credentials to get basically anywhere near that footprint. All the public parking to go in is at Westworld or at Salt River Fields, and you get shuttled in, which people, I think, kind of initially don't like, but then the shuttles are so great and they're moving all the time. The one caveat to that is the Salt River Fields one does have a time limit of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. that Wednesday through Sunday. So make sure that you're meeting those times. You don't get stranded one way or the other. But yeah, it really is kind of an all hands on deck thing. A lot of things to look at, a lot of security areas to be concerned with. But we start planning this almost after the last one ends to be now go on. Really one of the really amazing things I don't think people know because it's not something we typically tell, but and I'm sure it's for the fireside too. We get different delegates from other countries looking to host big events that actually come through and see our successes and how things are managed, how we partner with the PGA, how we partner with the Thunderbirds, all our other stakeholders locally, federally, because there's federal government stakeholders as well. And just how we all work this thing to be the safe event that it actually is.
That's amazing. You are an example. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You kind of mentioned it earlier, Aaron and Dave too. The planning starts right away. State goes in October 1st. Yeah. Talk about some of those that you work with because, I mean, there are federal agents, other local, city. We have the Glendale, all of your Valley, cities support you guys as well.
Yeah, and Aaron brought up a great point. We, one of the ways we also cover that event is cars, bikes, and but we also bring in the 91st, and they're through the National Guard. They're actually, so one of the things we're going to do a story on this year, and we kind of broke it last year, is we carry PRD, personal radiation devices. Okay. So it's such a large footprint with so many people. That's something that you do have to monitor. We're monitoring that, and we're going to do a story on that this year. But we bring in the same thing. We work with there's so many stakeholders that work within a unified command, and that's what makes this event so successful, and why so many people want to see come. Because as before we started this, we're joking. People have no idea the relationship that Scottsdale Fire and PD have, because we work at all these signature events within this command structure.
I think that makes you different in a sense. It really is like y'all's headquarters is together.
Yeah, I mean, everything from Pro-Am to Thunderbirds to, everybody's in the room. City streets, city parks, city lights, everybody's in there to make this a successful event. And when you have that many people coming into that event and that day, you're a small city within a city, so you have to handle that within the event. For instance, 16, the massive structure that's built, that's 4 stories now. It's a brand new structure, and it's amazing. I walked through it yesterday. The aisle, we're getting in these structures looking for wide aisles, flows of paths. They added more stairs, more means of egress for people to get out. So we're looking for all of that, and that's all been great so far that we've seen. We're also looking to we need a water supply out there, because what people don't realize is there's large restaurants at each one of those, because you need to feed all those people. So they bring in propane.
Yes, you do, because they're drinking a lot.
Cooking oils, all of that type of stuff. We can't rely on our outside units coming through traffic to get there if we were to have a fire. So we have to be able to handle that fire if something were to happen. So we strategically place equipment throughout that course, so that we can have our units that are on the golf carts respond with their fire gear, get on that apparatus within minutes, and start fighting fire if we had something. So, so I don't think people really realize just the amount of, it's all hands on deck for that week, because we start off that morning of the concert with the Parada del Sol, parade, so we need manpower for that. Then we move people from that manpower up to the golf course. So it's all hands on deck for both of us.
I just thought of this question as you were talking about water source. You guys ever put a hose into one of the water hazards and do you think about using that?
No, but what we do is
I love that we're game planning right now together, by the way, like a pre-planning meeting.
We've done a story on this in the past. At 17, the Cove, and at the 16, we put an actual 500 gallon pump down on the central CAP. We work with the
the canal's right there. Yeah,
and
yeah.
we pull from the canal. So we have a water in that. We have a supply in there.
Yeah.
Comes up, and it's actually a fire hydrant up there. So we've installed 2 fire hydrants for us to be able to use. And those automatically kick on if we need them.
Yeah.
So that's a partnership, once again, Central Arizona project that for us to be able to get down on that road to do that.
I think the PD would rather have you drain a couple of the water hazards so people don't jump in them.
Yeah,
I think
we got ourselves in trouble
better-
2 years ago
better.
because we did a little public service announcement. We said, "Don't jump in this water; it's gross." Well, I kind of
people went and tested you?
oh, that's recirculated water. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not jumping in it. Wouldn't swim
Well,
in
I
it.
can tell you this: the water is not meant for drinking. I know
Yeah,
that for
no.
sure. But it's perfect for watering the grass and water hazards. But
Yeah.
that's some of the things that we look for, obviously, for keeping this event safe is big picture, small picture. So big picture would be making sure that we are doing any threat mitigation for terrorist attacks or anything like that. We have detectives that work on all of that side, working with the local FBI field office to make sure big picture wise this event is safe from the outside in. And then little picture wise, we're also looking to make sure that people aren't drinking who are under 21. So you got Arizona Liquor Board that's out there. You have DPS working with us, our bicycle teams. Again, all those other units that are looking at those things. So from big things to small things, we want people to have a good time. We want people to have a fun time. But this event is not a free-for-all. It's important for people to remember that there's actually a liquor license for the entire basic footprint of both the Open and the Bird's Nest, which means it's basically a bar. In Arizona, if you are disorderly, if you are acting up, you can be kicked out of a bar. They don't have to give you any other reason. And it's the exact same thing here. And so we want people to have fun, get along, right?
Yeah.
You end up
Just hose them down at the 16, 17 holes, what I'm thinking.
Well,
you know?
so and to
you
his
bump into someone, just hey, no harm, no foul, right? And then just have a good time. So
and to his point, what you don't see is a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. We have this massive tent.
Well, I want to ask, like, the technology that y'all put in, that you were talking about, the radiation readers and all of that.
we have
like,
cameras, we have drones, we got all kinds of stuff. Yep.
So, and within that footprint, we have this large tent. We call it an alternative care tent, where we can be able to bring some of those intoxicated people to a tent, see a doctor, see a nurse, get an IV, and then we can treat you there, because during that time, like this is the time that
Is there like Honor Health or Banner come out and do that, or y'all?
Actually, it's Mayo and
okay.
Honor Health. I don't know if Mayo, but I know for sure Honor Health mans up certain medical stations throughout the course.
Yeah.
So you have options to go to those, but we'll bring people to this tent and then get them a ride home. That way we're not filling the hospitals up with all these people that really don't need to be there. They just need time to
Sober up, it's
recuperate,
okay.
sober up. So that's one of the things that people, you'll walk by this massive tent and not know what it is, but that's what it is.
Okay.
There's also a jail.
There is also
Wait,
a
really?
jail. Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
just talking
there's a
about
jail site
how
there.
is it the Phillies stadium has a jail and a judge there at all times for Philly fans. And so
we're not quite that level.
Yeah.
There's a
we
jail,
really
no
do?
judge, no judge.
Jail, no judge.
Yeah, jail, no judge. But
Is there? Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a detention
Two things I've
facility on
never
site.
had to find is the jail or the medic tent. I hope to keep my streak going.
But again, it's kind of like what Dave's talking about. It's too cumbersome to get some of those resources in, or even to get a transport vehicle in to then get an arrestee out. So we process them there, and then they get ejected from the event, usually for the entire week.
Yeah.
We have a list. We give it to the ticket folks. And if you get arrested, you get kicked out, you're typically not coming back the rest of the week.
Not worth
So again, have fun, but it's not a free-for-all, right? Like, be responsible. And that's part of parking the public parking areas, get the shuttle in, celebrate, have fun at the event with your friends and your family, and then make sure you're getting a ride home safe at the end too, because that's a big thing. We'll have the DUI task force out that week. That's the last I heard anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be crazy not to.
Yeah. So if people are coming out and they didn't come out last year, you saw the freeways done now, it seems to be, so we won't have that congestion. And if you didn't
let's talk about the changes that are still, is that second opening
So
happening?
we
like
opened
all
that
of
last year. If you didn't get to use that, that was phenomenal.
Amazing.
So that relieves a lot of congestion, obviously, at the front entrance, but just for them to be able to come in that gate, and that's one of the things that in some of our meetings, they're going to enhance that. They're going to make some of the signage better. It was already phenomenal last year, but you can shoot off to 17, 18, and 16, where you don't have to walk all the way around to the front entrance. So that was amazing.
Yeah, that entrance off of Hayden really does allow fans to get to some of the more popular areas a lot quicker, just by bypassing the main entrance, which will take you down. Then you can see, like, a lot of times, like, the leaderboard is down there, and you can get your map of the course and things. if you don't need that and you just want to get to some of the more populated areas, that Hayden Gate is an amazing sort of detour to get to where you want to go quicker.
Yeah, they even widened that entire area. It used to come into like maybe a 10-foot area. They widened that like 30 feet of pavement. So they paved it all. And then also every time we do an after action and we notice like what's choke points, we don't want people to get clogged up in areas. And this year, one of the changes we made was coming through that entrance to the left and shooting down to 16. We put all these restrooms there, porta potties. Well, it eliminated like 15 feet of our space, so those are gone this year. You'll be able to just flow through there. We've kind of moved them under the venues, so so you don't see them anymore.
Yeah,
they
they're
still
just
exist.
Out in the way. Okay, because they are needed.
They're using
Well,
this
because
watering
that's
hole.
one thing that will
needed.
shut down an event. If you don't have restrooms, that messes your event up. So they're just strategically located in better places.
What are some other big changes that we have? The bigger 16th hole, the 4 stories, the new opening. What are some other big changes that we need to prepare for? And in addition to that, the local residents that live around there and stuff like that, how to prepare.
Yeah, the local residents, a lot of messaging goes out to them ahead of time. And those of folks who live in those neighborhoods and work in those areas off of 83rd and perimeter up there, they know this event comes around every year. And we would ask fans that come in, obviously respect private property, right? There's no reason to be congregating, walking through, parking where you don't belong on private property. A lot of those businesses will tow your vehicle right out of there, and then you got to go pay to get it out. So again, really seek out those public parking areas at Westworld and Salt River Fields. Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
and
they should be.
Yeah, and they have to be because it's not worth the hassle for them either. But the rideshare lot is over off of 91st and Bell, and so you can take the rideshare, walk underneath the freeway, do it that way. Again, it's just really about getting in and out and making sure that we're not creating unnecessary congestion in traffic, vehicle traffic-wise or pedestrian traffic-wise. Yeah. But a lot of these improvements, again, have helped that with that, especially public parking being off-site.
That's great.
It's a little less convenient for individuals. It's better for the entire event. And that's really what our traffic planners and our officers that work in that area we're looking for is how can we improve the traffic flow around here? What's planned for right now is, again, like last year, for Hayden Road to be closed from Frank Lloyd Wright basically all the way up to Princess Drive. Okay. And so that's part of where that Hayden Gate's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's also, that ended up being an issue where that was where the old rideshare drop off of, which was at Hayden and Bell. Well, that became a huge line, and then you had people trying to walk in, walk out, and all that. So again, just to improve the traffic flow and the pedestrian flow, Hayden Road will be closed. That's as it's scheduled right now on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, and as you go through the course, some of the trails are widened, obviously, but they've worked really good. The Waste Management and the Thunderbirds have worked really good to put more venues out there. And what people need to realize is like the Fairway House, and then there's another one out there. I can't remember the name of it right now, but those are all free venues, and they're massive venues. They're almost like going into some of these venues where you have to get the wristband, but they're free, and they have great views of like hole 11, hole 10. They've also added over walkways, so the players had to usually cut through the fan zone. There's a walkway now. I think we highlighted that last year. But last year we noticed the choke point also was at 10. So now there's a walkway going from 10 to 11. The players will go up over the crowd. They're not cutting through the crowd anymore, and it keeps them safer. It doesn't stop traffic going in and out of there. It'll keep that congestion on the north side of 16 moving, because that's what would always stop it up, because they would really put the ropes up and hold it for so long. Yeah. And just looking at videos, there's nowhere you can go on this course. I don't think it's a secret that you're not on a video. They're watching.
It might be.
We're watching just to
it's
make
not
sure.
A secret. You're right.
Just to make sure that the paths are going, the flows are moving. The front entrance, 2 years ago, that was huge for us to be able to see the flow of traffic coming in there and make some adjustments. And then, I don't know. I think it's going to be a great event.
Are you excited?
Oh yeah. I'm always excited for our signature events.
I'm always excited for it. I get a little apprehensive until I see what the actual 14-day weather forecast is going to be. Right. And then depending on that, I get excited. But, when the weather's really great, that's when we also see an increase in some of the medical calls. People not hydrating in between fun beverages too, but also then not navigating the pathways in the hills as efficiently, whether they've been drinking alcohol or not. So I know one of the messaging strategies we always try to get out there is make sure you can properly walk in the shoes and the footwear that you pick, right? Yeah. you can still be stylish and
I
be
like
safe
how you
at the
just
same
didn't tell the girls to
time.
not wear their heels. That's
Well,
what you were really getting at.
Well, Dave,
I didn't, because I was the
don't
bad
know.
guy 2 years ago.
If that's Dave, if that's what you want to call it, I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
But people come out there sometimes and they have maybe some limited mobility as well. Again, don't get yourself so far out on the course if you know you have some limited mobility options that now you have to be rescued, because the fire department's out there and ready to rescue people, but there are thousands of people. And so we really want to try to save those resources for when people really need it, not just because I overextended myself. And that's not always the funnest, most popular answer, but that's just our caution to people, is just make sure you walk within your limits. Don't get too far out there if you know you're going to have to get a ride back. It creates a burden on other people, other resources that need to be maybe elsewhere.
You know, it's not just golf that happens there. There's concerts.
What?
You know, concert at the Coliseum, Bird's Nest, and all of that. So you're talking about the PGA game, golf tournament ending at 3, and then all those people are staying around for the concert and stuff after that.
Right.
I mean, there's no break for you guys, and
so
that continues.
they need to be responsible too. You know, they respect the fan, respect the player. It's all over the course. Know your limitations and just be responsible. It's a move for us because we transition some of those people that are on the course as it starts to thin out over to the Bird's Nest, because that goes until 11 o'clock at night. Great people coming in this year. But then once again, the concert in the Coliseum, it's you know, and we've already been in some of those venues to make sure there's enough exits. Just had a tragic event happen overseas that, you know, that's on the news all over. So we don't want one of those events to happen. So we're in a little extra early. We're making sure the exits are there. They're using non-flammable material to build a lot of these structures. We're making sure that's in place. Fire extinguishers in place. So it's going to be a great event this year. We're excited about it. And I think we've done the planning. It's been a year-long planning. It's going to actually twice a week now, so we're starting to ramp it up. And then, you know, I was out there yesterday. The infrastructure for the communications is already in.
Wow, that's great.
And so.
You know, Aaron, something that you guys do, and Chief Leduc talks about this, if you see something, say something, right? It's actually a big human trafficking time of year, you know, with the big events and stuff like that. What are some things that we can see and pay attention to come, you know, see something, say something kind of mentality with you guys? Yeah,
so there's a few different things, right? There might be a physical safety threat. So if that looks like there's some exposed wiring to a trip hazard to an unattended bag, I mean, all those things are safety hazards right away, right?
Very valid points,
Strange odor of, you know, maybe natural gas or something like that, because like Dave was saying,
someone on the course all day.
There's propane tanks out there. There's all kinds of things. And so again, anything that does not seem normal, at least alert a staff person or a police officer or a security person or a fire department member, because getting that information shared and then having us go check it out is much better than waiting for an unfortunate incident to happen. And when we talk about human trafficking, there's a few things to look at. January is actually Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and so it's also very appropriate to talk about it now too. But looking at what's the relationship between the two people that you're seeing? Does it look like that they are getting along okay? Does it look like one's maybe trying to control the other person, is always speaking for them, is doing everything for them, and they're just kind of there? And what's their demeanor? Are they now kind of like looking like they're shut down, or are they still engaging with things? And we would prefer to get a tip on something that doesn't look right, and we then can go verify that it is maybe not what we would consider maybe normal, but is okay and not illegal, then have an opportunity to slip through the fingers of maybe saving somebody from that horrible lifestyle. So anytime anybody sees anything that they think just isn't right, then to notify law enforcement, security personnel, or fire personnel that are on site right away.
And I also learned that there's a lot of undercover, around town and stuff like that. There's a lot of uniform. So, and I say that because I was at the Bird's Nest and I saw a situation that did not seem normal, and I watched it for a while, and then I went and told an officer, and he was like, thank you so much. And I was like, looked at him, I was like, you already knew. He starts laughing. He's like, we have officers dressed and undressed everywhere. I promise you there's nothing that we're not paying attention to. And I was like, okay, and he was like, we've had eyes on her all night, kind of thing. So, but it was like, but that's what it was. It was like something was off. The mannerisms weren't right. But it was kind of funny, and I was like, and then I turned around, I was like, they're everywhere. He's like, we're everywhere, ma'am.
Yeah.
He's like, we are in there with you right now dancing, and
Yeah.
you don't realize it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And those partnerships are huge. And so we have, in years past, we've had other agencies come in uniform presence to be our overt security presence.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, then some of our detectives can make sure that they can go in that undercover capacity, which is really what their speciality often is, as opposed to not having those extra partners come in, and then our detectives would have to be in uniform to be that presence. So it really has that balance, but it's really great to have those partnerships with our local law enforcement partners, and then also our local medical partners to make sure that we're keeping this event safe. Because again, we think it's fun too. We want it to be safe and fun.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Like you said, I just want the weather to be perfect. Like last year was like amazing, and I feel like we were due from 2 years ago. Like we were owed something.
Yes, we were due.
I'm really looking forward to everything. Well, listen, thank you both. I'll let you get back to your meetings. I know that you're back to 2-a-days. Really everything you do, take this seriously. Go find out more information. Be prepared, most importantly. Before we leave, Aaron, I'll start with you. What is your favorite Waste Management Phoenix Open vibe?
Ooh, I really like the transition from the course to the bird's nest.
Oh.
I really like that time of day is why.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
But I like seeing people leave after having a good time.
Yeah.
And in my role now as a public information officer, I'm usually on a hill somewhere watching people leaving who've had a good time, going hopefully to the end of the concert to continue having a good time. And I just think that's so fun with the sunset, happening
beautiful
too.
right there,
yeah,
the
it's
mountains and
great.
stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm gonna have to go with the sunrise because I'm usually out there at. I take media out to the 16th hole, and we literally stand on the tee box, and that view you can see the sun coming up, and there's nothing like it.
I remember
you're in the most epic hole of golf.
I mean, the most recognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember in my TV news days when we had big events and stuff, that was my favorite time too. You get there before everyone does. It's just like you and your cameraman and like the solid people, and the sunrise was always like, here we go.
Other than that, the
Here
shot
we
of glory
go.
is
Get
pretty
ready.
cool too. Being in the arena with it full for the shot of glory on Wednesday with all the celebrities in there, that's pretty cool.
That's fun.
There's so many. I can't just have one.
But that goes to show what this event is about, right? Like it's crazy, it's hectic, it is. Your mind cannot shut down for these 10 days, but yet you're still finding the fun in it and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And the
So
costumes people wear, I just love the costumes.
that's
It's
the
so
best.
fun too. Yeah.
So I always go out there, and you guys will see this every Friday. We do a lot of interviews with the costume people, like asking them crazy questions, and we fact check them about what they really know about the Open. I've only had 2 people answer, but they weren't drinking correctly. They to answer correctly, but they were not drinking either. So I decided to go with the more dressed up crews to ask fun questions too. But
That's good.
yeah, some people were like, I didn't know there was golf. I thought it was a costume drinking.
So that's
party.
another cool event for us too, because Saturday mornings we put the reporters in the golf carts, and we try and race the people that
fans all running.
fans that are running down.
Yeah.
I think Ian from Channel 3 got out. I'm running with the Canadians. The Canadians are passing me.
Sounds like him.
That's always a great.
Believe it or not, there's actually some other stuff going on here in town besides the WM Phoenix Open. We also love our favorite State Farm agent, Jeremy Mueller, because life in Arizona moves fast, as so does this season, and getting stressed about insurance coverage is the last thing you need. So give Jeremy Mueller Insurance a call. With over 25 years serving Scottsdale in 3 local offices, Jeremy and his team know the area and have the know-how to help you with some home, auto, life, and business insurance. Get that solid support and great service you deserve with Jeremy Mueller by finding him at jeremymueller.com or calling him at 480-515-5223. Well, as we learned last year, get your tickets because GA is day of only. No buy and go anytime. That's really important. They have gone up in price too, so get ready. Get your Bird's Nest tickets if you haven't gotten those. Everything is in the description of this episode with the link, so you can click right there. You can also do the Demonstrate Sculpture Gold Palette Art Walk. If golfing is not your thing, come down to Old Town. It'll be a little bit quieter and do the art walk. There's always a great events going on, and you get to see the museums late at night or the art exhibits. And then Founders Day celebration is happening February 26th at 9 a.m. The Little Red Schoolhouse in Scottsdale. This free event recognizes the Scottsdale founder, Chaplain Winfield Scott, and his wife Helen as champions of education. It's this 116th anniversary of the Little Red Schoolhouse. Perfect timing to celebrate Scottsdale's 75th anniversary. Have a wonderful week, Scottsdale. Keep vibing, and I'll see you around town.